one more video today. I was just thinking about rationalizing the denominator, which is going to be in our first test. Let's take something like this. Now, it's not okay to have bad exponents, negative exponents. It's not okay to have an irrational radical in the denominator. So I need to fix this. I know he's irrational because the square root of 3 is not perfect. So I am going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the square root of 3. And when I do that, I wind up with 2. There's no coefficient here besides skinny 1 if you want to put it there. And radical 6 times radical 3 is radical 18. Radical 3 times radical 3 is always going to be itself. Obviously, it's going to be radical 9, but it always just comes out to be the same whole number. Now, I look at this at the end, and I have to think, okay, I rationalized it. Yeah, this is great, but can I do anything else to it? And this is sometimes the problem with math, is that there's an infinite number of possibilities that can arise. And here, radical 18 has 9 that goes into it. So I just want to work a little bit more on that. I'm going to leave my 2. I'm going to break down radical 18 to be 9 times 2. I'll leave my 3 at the bottom. I'm going to keep on working with this. The square root of 9 is perfect. It is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Radical 2 over 3. Now I'm going to go one step further, and since both of these coefficients can be reduced or simplified, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. My answer is 2 radical 2. Now it started as a simple kind of, rationalizing, and you could have broken this in right away if you saw that and saw that 3 went into 6 twice. And if you did see that right away, you would have had 2 radical 2. Radical divided by radical goes in perfectly. You could have gotten the answer that way too. And if you didn't see that, you could have rationalized it and still wound up with the same answer. Now, if we have a coefficient in front, I always try to multiply it also by the same exact thing so I don't get confused. And I multiply the entire thing by the coefficient and the radical. We could see later if that's definitely a thing we need to do. My new numerator is going to be 24 radical 6. Down here, I'm going to have 36. Now remember, radical 3 times radical 3 is got to be radical 9, which is just 3. It pops itself right out. So I wind up with 24 radical 6 over 108. Now I want to reduce that, and I believe the biggest number that goes into 24 and 108 is going to be 12. So 2 radical 6 over 9. And I can't do anything further to that, so I know I'm done. Okay, so that's if there's a coefficient in front of the radical. I just always bring it all the way through. Now let's look at a problem like this. Now, we can rationalize this. We could try to, do a lot with the numerator here, break down the numerator, combine them, rationalize it. I just wanted to show you quickly about how to do this on the calculator. All right, so on our calculator, 54, let's put in square root, second function, x squared, square root 54. Now you'll notice that it's still highlighted to be inside of the radical sign. If I keep typing and start putting in a minus and all that, it's going to keep on getting me into the radical sign. So I just went backwards, deleted that just to get rid of the minus there. I want to start typing minus 2 radical 6. So I just need to use that arrow button right here, and that gets me out of it. So 2 minus 2. I'm going to go back, second function radical 6. Now what I should have done here is really put parentheses in, but I can insert them. If I hit second function, insert, I can get my parentheses in there. There's my one parenthesis. I'll move my arrows, and there's my next one. And I want to divide this entire thing by radical 6. This is just a little trick. If you have the calculator, this will do it all for you. use your arrow again to get out of the radical so you don't keep typing every single item into the radical. Hit enter and it will give you an answer. Now, it only really works great if it's a whole number because, again, if it comes out to be something that's irrational, it's not going to be able to equate it in the calculator to what radical it is unless you want to have a multiple choice and you can look through your answers that way. So just a little calculator trick and just to watch out on the calculator for the radicals. Okay?